Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Tonight on News Central. A recap of our top stories. Tinubu, Peter Obi orders sign peace accord ahead of 2027 general election as INEC plans to deploy 1.4 million ad hoc staff nationwide. Resurgence in deadly attacks as gunmen kill more than 60 in 3 states within 48 hours. And U.S. President Donald Trump says Washington has no talks planned with Tehran as standoff deepens. Afrobeats superstar Davido has raised concerns over the political tension surrounding the Osun governorship election. Speaking on fears of violence, alleged vote buying, and his own safety in Nigeria, in an exclusive interview with News Central, the singer spoke ahead of Governor Ademola Adeleke's presentation of his certificate of return on Wednesday. We have details in this report.
Afrobeats superstar Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has spoken candidly about the tension surrounding the Osun governorship election and the pressure accompanying his family's political involvement. In an exclusive interview with News Central TV, Davido explained why he returned to Nigeria despite concerns about his safety. He says he flew in from abroad with genuine fears, admitting he wondered whether the trip could be his last time coming home.
I have a lot of friends in the opposition party as well. Okay. You know, very close friends. And as they just started they'll be playing with me. Will they come? Will they come? Will they come? Then before you know it, Osun becomes a war zone. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Before I came for the last rallies that I stayed for before I traveled to London, when I was leaving my house in Atlanta, I looked at my twins. I said, God, please let this not be the last time I see them. Because I felt like I was going for a war.
His comments come amid concerns over possible violence and the safety of voters. Another major concern, vote buying, with allegations that billions of naira could be deployed to influence voters.
I just confirmed today.
Okay.
They spent 110 billion naira.
Wow.
I don't know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from somewhere where we had an insider that was sending us, if you see the cash that these people brought in, hey, if they had gotten away with that election, Nigeria is finished.
Davido addressed the issue, adding his voice to growing concerns about the role of money in Nigeria election. For him, the issue goes beyond his relationship with Governor Ademola Adeleke. He says the focus should remain on the people of Osun State and their right to freely choose their leaders without fear, pressure, or financial inducement. His interview has since generated widespread reactions, putting the issues of violence, vote buying, and electoral credibility firmly back in the spotlight.
Joining us now is Oluwafemi Adebayo, Head of Research and Strategy at Kimpact Development Initiative on elections and democracy expert. He is an election and democracy expert. Thank you very much for joining us for further examination of what played out in Osun. The latest is this exclusive we had with Davido. And I want to start with that big bombshell. He dropped about 110 billion naira. We can't independently verify that, but hearing that huge amount being deposed for an election in one state, what are your thinking or what are your thoughts about what we should be concerned about, one, and how things played out despite this humongous amount alleged to have been spent?
I mean, it's very important for us to understand that this is a conversation around political finance. And it's really worrying because at the end of the day, when we look at the Electoral Act, I think somewhere around Section 99, it was basically talking about the candidate expenditure ceiling for governorship election is just 3 billion. Again, if you had together all of those conversations around third-party expenses, the Electoral Act has also mentioned that no individual are expected to spend or donate more than 50 million, you know, in the Electoral Act. And if you look at it, it's really worrying But the question goes to the institution that is in charge of, tracking, documenting, and monitoring issues of campaign finance or political finance. And I think the last time I checked, the Independent National Electoral Commission has that mandate as part of the mandate. I mean, it's a question that we need to pose to INEC, what exactly is happening. But I think I can still answer a bit of the question, which is the fact that we need to wait till when the Electoral Act says that the political parties need to submit, their audited report regarding campaign expenditure and also their annual report and all of those reporting details. Maybe we need to ask after 3 months to know if the political parties have, submitted the details of their audited report and if they've been able to, publish it in the national dailies based on the provisions of the Act. I mean, these are very genuine questions, but we shouldn't gloss over it. Elections has happened before now. Have we heard the commission of political parties talk about this before now? I don't think I've heard that in recent times. Again, anything related to political offense is a conversation of electoral offenses. The moment you breach the ceiling for expenditure, I mean, it's electoral offenses. But I know quite well that there are some systemic issues that is a challenge in achieving some of this. And I will let you know that before now, prosecuting of electoral offenders also rests on INEC. And INEC has actually said over time, even from the days of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, regarding the capacity for them to be able to prosecute electoral offenders. I mean, there are quite a lot of issues in there. For instance, INEC doesn't have the power to arrest. INEC doesn't have the power to investigate. They only have the power to prosecute. So the conversation becomes, if anybody actually exceed the campaign ceiling or expenditure around the election as specified in the Electoral Act, I mean, the conversation is who ordered the arrest.
Indeed, I think these are german issues that needs to be, explored further, but we cannot do that in the short time that we have here on the news. However, I'd like you to think about this because we're going on a short break, because despite all the threats and the tension and the allegation of huge funding, voters still came out. Some were said to have been given money and they collected, yet they voted who they wanted to. What do you think gave Osun voters the confidence or courage to defy those fears? And how can we replicate that essence in the upcoming elections? More on that while we go on this break. We'll be right back. Glad you're still with us. We still have Oluwafemi Adebayo speaking on the aftermath of the Osun election. So go ahead with your response to my question, please.
Okay, I know your earlier question speak about why and how Osun people defied all of the logic and the, all of the odds to also be out.
Yeah, and how we can replicate that, that essence of them defying all obstacle to vote who they wanted.
I mean, what matters, what is very important to state is the fact that Osun people were very determined on Saturday. And I mean, it's not something we've seen in recent times in elections in Nigeria. I mean, that's very important for everybody to know. It's a form of behavioral shift that we've all been anticipating, from time immemorial in Nigeria, as far as I know, that elections have been happening. Because if you look at the pre-election, it was characterized with so much of violence, threat, tensions, killings, and a whole lot. But on Saturday, people do not even, it doesn't look like all of those things happened. And they came out in droves. The first time Osun, we also have over 1 million people to come out to vote in any given elections. That is unprecedented. And I think what is responsible for it is one major thing, which is the fact that Osun people seems to have wide variety of option in terms of candidacy. And this would take me to all of the political parties. Political parties should be giving their tickets to individuals that they know has capacity, has character, has competence. Let's forget about Governor Adeleke, Senator Ademola Adeleke winning the elections. If you look at also the vote of the runner-up, you also know that it's a keenly contested elections. In last month, we also had an election in Ekiti where it all looks like a walkover, right? So the point I'm just making is political parties should at least make it a point of duty to be able to give Nigerians, to be able to give the indigene of their state a very credible, competent and good character individuals to be able to be on the ballot. One of the things Saturday election in Osun says to me is the fact that citizens not having their preferred candidate or a candidate they feel has a level of competence and character on the ballot is also one of the reasons why people stay away from voting. Because if you look at it across board, there were options for Osun State people to choose from, and they decided to choose their most preferred.
All right, we'll have to pause now. Thank you so much, Oluwafemi, for obliging us tonight.